So as you can see on the screen, Denji is back. And this is just... I just want to take a few moments to say, this is a very symbolic panel. And I'm going to really dive into this. But I want to show something real quick in case people have forgotten. The reason why he saved a cat was because of this. This is a panel back from Chainsaw Man Part 1, where Power talks about cats and her feelings towards cats, and her being able to communicate with humans, etc. This entire panel. Pause the video if you want to read it for yourself. But basically, the reason why Denji obviously saved a cat at the end of the chapter, and yes, you can look at this as comedy, and, Fujimoto, the author of Chainsaw Man, is known for some really chaotic writing, to some crazy, dark humor, and most likely it's all of the above for this panel, for, everything going on with this chapter. But I feel like deep down, if we, want to rip everything apart, and we really want to just analyze why probably Chainsaw Man / Denji saved the cat, it has to do with Power. That is my true feelings on the matter when I see this image. And it's a very emotional image because obviously with just what happened to Power at the end of Part 1, to Denji, really caring so much about her, to how they were separated, everything. There's a lot there. There is a lot to really analyze with Power and Denji's relationship. And just seeing the fact that he saved a cat is probably in his own way still remembering Power and respecting her, etc., and wanting to carry on her will or legacy. And he also views cats as, willing to live. They have a right to live just as much as, let's say, a human. He views them on a similar status, most likely because of his attachments with Power. It's a very, very beautiful way to do this chapter. And there's obviously a lot more symbolic meaning, at least when it comes to the narrative of why the cat was saved, and it kind of ties in with Asa. I believe that's actually how you say her name, which technically saved a cat earlier on in the chapter. We literally see, how her mother dies, but she manages to save a cat, as you can see here. And this obviously is kind of showing the contrast between Asa and Denji as characters when it comes to saving cats. For instance, obviously you have Asa here, which has kind of been the MC of Part 2, and we have been following her journey. Obviously, when you see this scene with the cat being saved, the reason why she saved the cat is because, she had no one else really left, and her mother pushed her, and her mother died. And everything about this is very sad, because the reason why she technically, her mother died, Asa's mother died, and why Asa even saved the cat, she decided to want to save the cat. She was running, as you can see here. You had the Typhoon Devil, I believe that's the Typhoon Devil, attacking in the background, and basically she's just running for her life. She sees a cat, she saves the cat, trying to do the good thing, and because of that, she actually trips and falls at a critical moment. Her mom picks her back up, pushes her, and we see that, her mom dies. And so basically, when you see this entire significance of the cat and how Asa saves the cat, the emotion she's obviously feeling here is regret and sadness, because she probably feels like she just doesn't deserve to live. You can see this entire image right here. I have my mouse on it. You can see this just overall feelings. She's thinking about, how she saved a cat, and then she thinks about her mom, and then she realizes she's alone, and she died, or her mother died, and, it was just to save this cat. And she's like, the cat isn't worth my mother's life. That is what the character is basically saying. She was putting lives on a scale, which is more important to her, which you could kind of say goes along with the trolley problem that Denji was faced with by the cockroach devil. So I think that this entire significance of this shows that Asa would have been someone that would have chose, let's say, someone more important to her, like her lover, over, let's say, 5 random strangers. That's what Asa would have done. While Denji did something very different and went a different direction by literally destroying the trolley. So let's talk about that. So basically, obviously I talked about Asa and how she kind of handles that overall issue, but Denji, he's faced with 2 issues. He saves this random guy, or you have the old grannies fall in the car, and obviously he dives straight at the cockroach devil and he attacks him. And we know he saves the cat, but before that happens, he attacks the cockroach devil, we see the others die that fell, and then he grabs the cat. And basically, we can look at this in multiple ways. There's a lot of ways to really depict of how Denji handled the trolley problem. Either A, he didn't even care about it, and he just, like, he wanted to save the cat because, like, he views a cat more important because it's his attachment to power, and he is remembering power when he sees a cat, and maybe that's, like, his answer. He cares more about the people he cares about than some random pedestrians. He would rather throw them to the wolves if it meant saving the people he loves and cares about. And that's a way to kind of take that. Or Denji factored in amongst that feeling that, you know, even though the pedestrians died, that the, you know, cockroach devil dropped them, Denji realized that if he allowed the devil to continue living, it would cause more people to die. So he's like, look, yes, you know, like 6 to 7 people died, but at the end of the day, them dying and then the cockroach dying because of that mistake, thinking that he would save those people, he actually technically saved a lot more people. Because you gotta imagine, the cockroach devil is probably, if he would have survived, he would have attacked Denji and got away or whatever, he would have killed tens of hundreds, thousands, etc., way more than just the 2, you know, scale that he had in his hands, like dropping the dude or the car. So, Denji chose the other option, the third option, destroy the trolley, get rid of it, and then obviously the trolley will never come back and hit more people. That's basically what you can get, at least from the message of what this chapter tries to convey. Now, obviously, like I said, the cat, it has a lot more significance there, and we can talk about that and analyze that. Now, I really like just the different directions of how the cats were used in this chapter, because cats in literature can be used for a variety of things. They can be used as a sign of bad luck, like a black cat crosses the street, and that's a sign of bad luck. Maybe you're about to die or face misfortune, etc. That's genuinely what you would see with a black cat. And sometimes, you know, certain cats can be used as guardian deities, like they can, you know, guard people, guardian spirits that watch over the spirits of other people that are deceased, etc. You know, there's many different fables and lore and folklore and all that around cats, and I feel like just the different usages of them showcase that throughout this chapter. Is that we have a cat that obviously kind of caused awesome misfortune, and she lost her mom thanks to it, and then we have Denji saving the cat, and basically it's more of good luck or showing that, you know, he's watching over power and always thinking of power. There's a lot of ways to depict it, and since we've already kind of seen that Fujimoto as an author loves cinema, he loves just movies, etc., and I'm willing to bet you the entire cat theme has probably something to do with cinema. I think that everything about this is very beautiful. It's perfectly written, and, well, nothing's perfect, but it's almost close to perfection as you possibly can get. I love the overall message that this chapter conveys with the 2 separate characters. Now, also, when it comes to the cat, that's another thing to talk about. But it's a really emotional and almost perfectly written, because nothing's perfect, but I really think that this was just a solid chapter. Now, there's a few things to talk about. Let's talk about Asa's, you know, overall mental state. Her ability as a person, what she is as a person, what she feels, how she thinks. For instance, this entire scene where she's, you know, arguing with the War Devil, and the War Devil wants, you know, her to use her friend and basically, like, throw her to the wolves. This is actually kind of getting a little bit off topic, but I really like how the Bat Devil gets wiped out by Denji's collateral damage fighting the cockroach devil. I think that's hilarious. It kind of shows the overall scaling of Denji and how stronger he has gotten since the very beginning of the manga. But anyways, get back on topic though. I think that the entire bit here with, like, her trying to run, and, you know, she's told by the War Devil, like, I know you don't care. Like, you didn't care about, you know, Bucky, you know, dying and all that. You were just upset that people saw you kill Bucky. And this kind of implies more of a sociopathic tendencies, or basically showing that she is just a sociopath. Someone that doesn't have empathy for others, someone that lacks empathy, someone that is willing to just kill people for what their actual goal is, what they want, etc. And they're willing to just do anything. They can become easily detached from others. And that's kind of what is going on here, is that she obviously is showing signs of sociopathic tendencies. You know, not caring if someone dies as long as if she is not caught. However, I do like, for a fact we can get from the character, is that even if it is true she has that darker state of mind, she is a sociopath, and that the War Devil isn't legitimately lying, and this is 100% factual, we can also not disregard the other fact that was put into the chapter for her character, is that even if she has some form of lack of empathy, she's a sociopath, the fact that she could have took an easy way, and if she was fully crazy, she would have killed her friend and turned her into a weapon to save her own life, because nobody would have seen her do that act. Unless the reason she doesn't do that act is because the War Devil is there. One or the other could potentially be going on there. But the point is she decides not to commit that act of killing her friend and turning her into a weapon. She decides to take the hard way by grabbing her friend, risking her life, and running for her life with her friend in her arms. Even though she trips and thanks to collateral damage is why the Bat Devil dies in the first place, it still does not change the fact that she chose the hard route. She chose the route to where there wasn't certainty. There wasn't nothing easy ahead of her. She chose a hard path to be able to do the right thing. And so even if she is a sociopath, it is very clear that she is trying deep down within her heart, her very soul, she wants to do the right thing. She wants to be able to be a good person. And I think this also plays very well within the cat theme that this chapter does. Basically, when you see someone grab a cat, instantly, instinctively save an animal, people associate that with a good person. You see it so many times in movies, etc. And I think it's very well known that Fujimoto-sensei, the author of Chainsaw Man, loves cinema. He loves movies. And, I mean, we saw it with, Goodbye and all that, like Goodbye Eri that came out. I mean, we know for a fact that he loves cinema. So, this is obviously a trope that he's using. A hero comes in, saves a animal, and it shows that they have this kind, passionate, caring side to them. And so when you see this, you want to root for them. You want to cheer for them. You're like, oh, this is a good person. This is instantly a great character because they're not being mean to animals. It's kind of like what Dio does in JoJo. You remember when Dio was first introduced in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, he literally kicks a dog. And that kind of showcased that he was an absolute sack of crap. He was the villain. And that's kind of the trope being shown here, is that thanks to her grabbing the cat, even though obviously the end result might have made her regret saving the cat, and, she realized maybe the cat's life wasn't worth the same as her mother, she still saved the cat. And then Denji saving the cat is obviously some lingering attachment to power. I do like how Fujimoto-sensei is twisting these tropes into a very Chainsaw Man exquisite writing style. I've always loved that. I've always loved how he has written his series, and I love seeing it showcased throughout these chapters. It's just absolutely fantastic. So just, overall, when it comes to this chapter, it's basically near perfect. It's not perfect because nothing is perfect in real life, but it is obviously close to perfect, at least to me, in terms of the message and what this chapter really represents for the story, but also for just the structure for it, and it really just goes to show the overall growth that Fujimoto-sensei has had for Chainsaw Man since the very beginning from chapter 1. But I guess I'm going to leave it at that. If you enjoyed the video and I gave you any form of entertainment, please do drop me a like. It does help me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. But with that, guys, be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.